brackets.
I would open my mouth right as you said something too. I don't even know if we can use that one, but we're going to.
Okay.
All right. So we're doing NBA brackets today. We're going through the play-in, the playoff, everything. We're gonna do. Okay. Wait. We haven't checked on it yet. Are we doing the Andrew Johnson on it?
Johnson.
Andrew Johnson. Is that? Oh. It's the Cummins draw. I thought that was Johnson. Yeah. Andrew Jackson. Are we doing it?
Fat 20?
A fat 20 on the play-in bracket.
Let me think about between the 20 and the 10.
Okay. But
because I'm gonna make some changes between the 20. Because I've got some controversial opinions on here that.
But we should say what our scale is to start. So basically we're doing something so that like it's not just based on like if you pick the right winner and stuff. It's also based on the amount of games and stuff like that. So we're doing 1 point for a win, 1 point for a loss. That's for games, not series. And then whoever picks if you pick the right person coming out of the series, it's plus 2 points. And then the little complicated rule kind of that we're doing is like, let's say in the first round I have Grizzlies Lakers. So if let's say I pick the Grizzlies coming out and they lose, then in the next round, I would take over whatever team is playing against the Lakers. So in my bracket, that would be the Warriors. So basically, I would have the Warriors for that series, and then I would take the points that they gain from there. So that's basically how the bracket works. What is the other stipulations we had? We had 1 point for each playing game, 1 point for a conference finals MVP. And then 1 point for finals MVP, or no, 2 points for finals MVP. Yeah. So we'll keep the points tallied up, and probably like as the playoffs go on, we'll do a little recap and show you what the points are, and then you'll know more about the point system from there. But don't worry about it too much. Just know that he's gonna lose a lot of money because he's a diehard Sixer fan.
That's probably true. But it's okay. I think I'll net even after all the other bets.
You probably will net even because MVP is looking pretty tied up, which I think should be. I think that's probably our next episode. Spoilers. It's gonna be probably awards. I'm thinking because those released I think on like the 15th or the 16th or something like that.
So yeah, get them before that.
Yeah, exactly. But for bracket this episode, do you want to start with the play-in? I feel like that makes the most sense.
Playing in the West.
Playing in the West.
The West is more interesting, so start there.
Yeah, we'll start there. So 9-10, that's what I started with.
Yeah,
7-8. You did 7-8 first.
Does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. 9-10, I got Pels coming out
Thunder.
against OKC. So we already have it immediately off the rip. We have it different, which is great. I'm just so excited. I feel like this is going to be crazy.
If Zion's back, I would change my mind.
I think Zion said that it's possible that he comes back for the playoffs. So it's kind of like
let me look into the latest information.
Yeah, I feel you. In the meantime, I'll go on to my 7-8 because I feel like we both agree. We both have the
Zion Williamson won't return for playing.
Not for playing, but he might, if he makes it to the playoffs, he said they might return.
Maybe,
for playoffs.
but he will not be in the play-in. So yeah, I'm sticking with the Thunder then.
Okay, then I have the Pels. Reason I have the Pels, I mean, Brandon Ingram has just been on a tear recently. He's been looking, and when it comes to a playing game, I'm usually taking best player. I do think that Shea is a better player, but we have to talk about hot streaks. We've had literally like Brandon Ingram going off for last night I think it was like 41, 17, and 6 or some shit like that. Like it's like when you have a person putting up stat lines like that consistently for like almost a month now, I think I'm gonna take the person that's been doing that right now. Even though obviously over the season I think Shea's been better.
Even though Shea's been doing that now and before. He's just not on a hot Brandon Ingram's hot streak right now is worse than Shea's been all season.
No, that's not true. Brandon Ingram's hot streak has been better. Like he's had, I don't know if he's had multiple actual triple doubles, but he's had the equivalent of triple doubles, which is all I really care about is that you're doing everything on the court. Like he's literally been putting up almost 10 rebounds a game. He's been putting up like 6, 7, 8 assists, and he's been averaging like 30 plus, which Shea has been averaging like probably like 30, like 6 and 4 or something like that, and he's been very consistent with all the stuff that he's been doing. But the high right now is slightly higher than what Shea's high is. I don't think that, and don't believe me, I don't doubt that Shea could go crazy like that in a single game elimination. But when it comes to supporting cast too, I also am going to take the Pels over them as well, because we're looking at McCollum, who's been in the playoffs. We're looking at Valanciunas, who's been in the playoffs. Like just a lot of players I trust more.
I'll agree that the Pelicans ceiling in that game is higher. If all the Pelicans show up, they'll win that game.
Yeah.
But I know Shea's showing up. Shea shows up every game, and most Pelicans don't show up every game.
Unless.
But I'm taking Shea over BI, and I don't trust any of the other Pelicans that are left because Zion's gone.
You really think McCollum? You don't trust them in the playoffs? You've been slightly inconsistent, but if you take them by playoff experience here, we're looking at like who's going to be a secondary scorer for the OKC. Lou Dort?
Josh Giddey.
Lou Dort? Josh Giddey, exactly. So we're gonna have a 6 turnover, 8 assist game. Looking at on the OKC right there. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not trusting a bunch of 20-year-olds to come out of the play-in. I think it's impressive that they got here in the first place, but there's a reason that the Pels are above them in the standings, and it's because they're a more put-together team.
They were when Zion was playing.
Understandable there. But I don't think it's going to matter too much because, so we have Lakers versus Timberwolves.
And I think we both took the Lakers.
We both took the Lakers, and that's not even really close in my opinion. We'll get into the Rudy Gobert stuff later. There's really not that much to say besides he's a bitch, but we'll go into all that stuff later. 8-9 then would be Wolves OKC for you, and then Wolves Pelicans for me. I have the Wolves coming out.
Of course, I got the Thunder.
Yeah, I think, and they are kind of biased because we put a $5 on whether OKC makes the actual playoffs because they're in the play-in. If they make the actual playoffs, I get 5. If they make the I think it's even, right?
If they make the playoffs, I get 5.
Coffee. But what'd you say?
You said if they make the playoffs, you get 5. If they make the playoffs, I get 5. If they don't make the playoffs, you get 5.
Yeah. True. But yeah, I have the Wolves beating out the Pels because simply on star power alone, and I do not trust Cat, but it's right here. I do not trust Cat, but I do trust Ant Edwards. So even if Cat Cat is one of those players that even when he's having an off night, you still have to guard him. It's kind of like a Curry type situation where he's just like he can shoot anywhere and he's going to be in the post and stuff like that. So even if Cat doesn't show up, and all I need is Ant Edwards to show up, and then they have a pretty good supporting cast even without Rudy if he doesn't come back, which I think they will bring him back. But even if they don't bring him back, they have a pretty good supporting cast with Slow-Mo, all those type of guys. Obviously, they have Jaden McDaniels.
And he's gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have Jaden McDaniels out. But I think that with the Pels, I mean, you're looking at Jay McDaniels, Rudy Gobert, Zion Williamson. I think the bigger loss is Zion Williamson there.
I'm talking about the Thunder.
The Thunder, yeah. And if you're talking about the Thunder, you said you have the Thunder coming in. I just don't. I don't see Shea being able to do everything. And Edwards.
If Jaden McDaniels was still there, I'd have taken the Wolves.
Yeah.
But if Ant Edwards has to play defense on Shea, then I don't think. If Ant Edwards has to give the defensive effort on Shea that he'll need to give to slow Shea down enough. I don't think he'll score enough points, and I don't trust Cat to score the points if Ant isn't because he has to play that defense.
See, that's the thing about Ant though is like in the game yesterday, like he was shooting horrendously, but he was still checking up his shots because that's what Ant's gonna do. But he was playing defense like throughout the entire game, and then when it came down the line, not only did he step up his scoring, but he also was playing elite defense. There was at the end of the game, he got a block, then ran down the other end, turned the ball over, but then someone stole it back, and then he got the and one. It's like I see Ant being able to be a matchup like a hassle for Shea, and then even if let's say his scoring, like, because I think Ant's the type of Garrison that's going to want to step in the playoffs. So instead of dropping 35-40, he drops 25 or 30 or something like that. That's the production drop off I'm seeing from him playing defense, and then with the supporting cast of the Timberwolves, I'm still going to take that over.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I just think that. Since I don't trust Cat, obviously if Cat shows up, I mean that's right. But assuming Cat doesn't show up, which I think there's a good chance.
Yeah.
And Ant has to play defense. Then even though the Timberwolves supporting cast is better, I think the Thunder supporting cast is good enough that it'll be a close game, and I'm gonna bet on Shea. I can understand betting on Ant over Shea there. Yeah. I'm going to bet on Shea over Ant.
That's understandable. And when it comes to what I was saying with the Pels, I just think that the Pelicans, when I'm looking at both of them, I'm seeing star power, basically one star player, and then a good supporting cast. Because honestly, I don't really see Cat as a star player when it comes to playoffs until he proves me otherwise. And then, so I'm seeing like one star player on each side, and then like a lot of good supporting cast pieces. And I'm just gonna take the Timberwolves pieces over them. But yeah, I think that regardless, you have OKC coming out, so that means OKC's your 8th seed, and for me, the Wolves are the 8th seed in the West. We can move to the East. Or do you want to go?
I was going to go through the whole West.
You're gonna go through the whole West. Okay, let's do that then, because I feel like the West is more entertaining as well. Let's do 1-8.
I have Nuggets in 5.
I have Nuggets in 5 as well. To the Wolves, so it doesn't matter too much at the end of the day, I guess. For me, when it's versus the Wolves, I think Rudy Gobert is going to get destroyed by them. I think Edwards is a good enough player that's going to steal them like a one game situation, like drops a 40 piece and plays good defense. But when it comes down to it, like, I mean, the Nuggets just have, this is what they wanted.
Right.
Like, if the Lakers would have dropped to the 8th seed, this is a lot scarier.
It's still possible.
It is still possible. But I think I'm taking Lakers against any team in the play-in right now. They just look really put together.
Obviously, because what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, it's
definitely possible. It's definitely possible. But if the Nuggets get this,
really
I'm praying that they do, because then there will be a second round exit instead of a first round exit for me. But yeah, do you have anything else to say on that series? I feel
like kind of the same thing with Shea instead of Ant. I mean, the Nuggets are just a better team.
Yeah, that's just how it really goes. So Grizzlies Lakers.
I have Lakers in 6.
Already have Lakers in 6. There we go. I also think I have them versus Grizzlies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Grizzlies Lakers. Oh yeah, we have the same 7th seed. So yeah, I just think that the Grizzlies are the defense. They're going to be able to slow down. Jaren Jackson's going to be able to slow down AD at certain points, especially with his aggression. But the Lakers have an amazing defense too, and the Grizzlies' offense is extremely lacking comparatively to the Lakers' offense. So I think it could be a good series. I think they're going to have their fits, but this isn't a 6-game series where I'm like, oh no, like I'm so worried about the Lakers. It's more like a 6-game series, like the Grizzlies win like 2 home games. You know what I mean? Like I think the Lakers
That's
are
exactly
going
what I was thinking.
Convincingly win this series, but the Grizzlies fans will be huffing that copium. They'll be saying that they can get them out of there. I'm gonna be so mad if the Lakers lose in the first round after this season. Just the ups and downs, getting in finally. Basically, not really a playoff stop, but when you're the 7th seed and you just have to beat a team one time, that's pretty close to being like an actual playoff team. And for them to do all that, do the whole team turnover, and then they just get booted out by a team that's been in turmoil all year, like. The Lakers have a lot to lose if they don't do it here, because even with this season, with LeBron's injuries and stuff, I think that next season, and I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood or whatever, but I don't think that LeBron has much left in the tank when it comes to not getting injured. Like, I think that he'll still be really good, but I think that LeBron's getting to the point in his career where he's going to be playing like 50 to 60 games a year, and the Lakers, unless AD decides to be consistent, or at least semi-consistent like he was this year, it's going to be hard for them to stay at the peak that they are.
Right.
But, it's D'Lo's team now, so... Dude, I heard somebody talking about that on Lakers Twitter.
That's crazy.
It's going to be D'Lo's team. No, because D'Lo, I think, said it. It was like, he said something about it.
Yeah, of course D'Lo said it. That doesn't mean you have to agree.
That shit's so funny. And he's only 26. It's just so crazy to me. So
he feels like he's got to be like 29
he's been on like
something.
4 teams. And, but I'm just glad that they honestly have him, because... Even though he's like a really good like 3rd option in my opinion, or a 4th option depending on the night or whatever. Then we got we're doing Kings Warriors. I got
you go.
Okay, I got Warriors in 6.
I have Warriors in 7, but
understandable.
I think the Warriors lose this series. It's in 5 or 6. I think the Warriors lose the series. It's just we've been wrong. They aren't still what we think they are, and they're actually just a 6 seed that barely made the playoffs, and not the Warriors.
Yeah.
But if they win, I think they win in 6 or... I think they win in a close... I think they lose in a not close 6, or they win in a close 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Because I think the way the Warriors win against a team like the Kings, that has looked like a better team all year, is they get these to be close games, and if it gets to close games... You're taking Clay, you're taking Curry, you're taking those guys over... Even though De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis have looked better in the clutch this year, in the playoffs, I'm still taking Curry and Clay.
The reason I
But
got the Warriors,
if they can't get them to close games, then they can't get them to close.
They're not going to.
Right.
Yeah. I think that the Kings, this series is a lot closer than the 6 games that I have for the Grizzlies and the Lakers.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Warriors will convincingly win it because I think it's going to come down to experience and coaching here. I think the Kings, being a newer team that likes to play a way that isn't always conducive to playoff basketball,
Right.
I think that the Warriors can try to force them into playing a Warriors type system, and I think it's going to be difficult for the Kings to be able to make sure that the pace stays at the pace that they want to stay, because they're both, I think they're pretty high pace. I know the Kings are, but I think the Warriors are still a pretty high paced team. But a lot of the fast pace is in the half court for the Warriors, while it's not as much that way for the Kings.
I'll also say I'm assuming that Wiggins is back. If he's not, I'm taking the Kings.
Oh, well, how are you? Did they say anything about that? Do you know?
They've multiple Warriors players have mentioned that he's been back around the team.
That's good.
So
I thought that he would definitely come up for the playoffs, but I hadn't seen any news on it recently, so I wasn't sure if I was just smoking the Warriors crack. But I think that if Wiggins comes back, I might even put it to 5, because I think that's a dangerous defender to have out there against having for the De'Aaron Fox, and also someone that I think is going to be slept on really heavily in the series is Harrison Barnes. He's just been a consistently really good role player, and I'm surprised he's honestly stayed on the Kings for as long as he did, with everything that was going on with them and all the turmoil they've kind of been in for the years previous to this one. Yeah. But having him now when you're actually a playoff team is going to be really, really good for them. If De'Aaron is having an off night, Harrison Barnes can literally drop you a 20-10 game, unironically. So I think that having a Wiggins to put on Harrison Barnes is going to negate that a lot. But yeah, I got him in 6. I think the Warriors will force them into their play style. And I think by the end of the series, it's going to look convincing for Warriors, but I think that they're going to I think it's going to be a type of, it feels like one of those series where they split the home games and the road games to me. It seems like a type of series where it's the Kings steal one in the Golden State Arena somehow, and then the Warriors steal one even though they've been a bad, it feels like one of the series that's going to seem close, and then whatever team at the end is going to pull it out really hard, but
I can see that.
Yeah, I definitely got the Warriors coming out. Then Clippers Suns.
I got Suns in 6.
I got the Suns in 6 too. Damn, I didn't think that our brackets were gonna be this similar. Our East are probably gonna be way different because of the whole Sixers shit.
Yeah,
but the Suns, the Suns in 6
still should be pretty close.
Yeah. I think
still only 2 series.
What'd you say?
Still only 2 series. I have to imagine you have the Sixers over the Nets.
I don't want to say anything yet. But the when it comes to the Suns Clippers though, I think that this one is the one I felt least sure about, because I think that playoff Kawhi is a different monster. Yeah. And I think that when you have the only person that I've seen even give.
Here's another question: is PG going to be back?
I don't think so.
Okay, then I feel confident
in the thing. But I trust D-Book and I trust KD. I do not trust Chris Paul right now. I just don't think that Chris Paul has looked the same way, even when he's had to bounce back in the second half of the season.
Yeah, but I agree with that. But just generally, first off, I don't even know if PG's going to be back. I'm trying to find out. But even if he is, he's coming back off injury. Yeah. And it's PG coming back off injury versus D-Book, and I'm taking Book.
I did honestly skim over the whole PG thing. I completely forgot that he was out right now, because I haven't watched a Clippers game in a while because their seeding's been kind of set for a while.
Westbrook is the reason I give them 2 games, because he's been looking actually good.
Yeah,
for the Clippers. Really good for the Clippers.
At least I haven't, like I said, I haven't been able to watch as many because their standings have been worse up than a lot of the other teams in the West. But when I've seen the stat lines and I've seen some of the highlights and stuff like that, it does look like Westbrook's been looking better. So, and they have him starting still, but they have Terrence Mann closing. Is that correct?
And the games I've seen, yes.
Yeah. And I think that is it's not what I would have preferred, but they've seen they've made it work. And with Paul George being out, I think that opens up stuff for Russell Westbrook, honestly. Yeah. The problem with them in this series is with Russell as your second option, basically, I would say.
Yeah,
second option
right.
is. I think that is a recipe to lose a series.
Compared to Book as the second option.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like, PG...
If
like,
that's what I'm saying. If PG's back, I'd give them a chance.
Yeah. Did you see anything on it?
Nothing came up immediately. I could look it up.
I would check Clippers injury report. Maybe they have him, like, if he's day-to-day or whatever.
George. I'll just look up, like, Paul George playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But I think that at the end of the day, I'm taking the Suns because I think that I think KD is going is just dominant, and I think that KD is going to be able to carry them out of the series. But I think it's going to be a dogfight between them and Kawhi. But when you have D Book as your backup, I mean that's a pretty good thing when he's the top 15 player. You know?
That's my thing. It's just unfortunately for the Clippers, KD is probably one of the only people that Kawhi can't slow down.
Yeah.
Almost completely.
Yeah. No, that's a fact, and that was one of the reasons I had it going to 6 is because I think that Kawhi is one of the only players that can kind of at least.
Well, but honestly, I think if the Clippers are smart, I'd put Kawhi on Book.
I think that I think that I understand why you would do that, but who do you have guarding KD then?
I think I'm gonna
I do agree that he could Kawhi could do a much better job guarding.
I think it depends on if Paul George is back. If Paul George is back, then I put Kawhi on KD.
Yeah,
we put PG on Book.
Book. Yeah,
I think if you're the Suns, well, maybe you don't try this immediately, but I think if you're the Suns, if you put Kawhi on Booker, you're essentially just saying, we're living or dying by KD scoring 45. If he scores 45, we're gonna lose. If he doesn't, we'll probably win. And I think that's a better chance than putting Kawhi on KD and letting Booker run wild. Because KD's still going to get his 30.
Exactly.
And you're going to let Book get 32. And
we could see that, honestly. I was going to say it's not realistic that they would do that, but that actually could be realistic because with PG out, a lot of the scoring is going to be on...
PG is making tangible progress, but expected to be out for the Sun series.
Yeah, that is rough for them for sure. I might move that down to a 5 game, but I'll just hold it for 6.
Yeah, I'm holding 6 as well.
But I think that would be the best strategy, and that might be what they do because throughout the regular season, Tyronn Lue has been putting Kiwi. Kawhi has been and PG have both been on not the top scorers, and then at the end of the game, the on top scorer.
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
That would be smart for them to put him on Booker because I think Booker would definitely struggle with Kawhi on them.
Yeah.
And then in the end game, you could have them, and then D Book's already off for the whole game,
right.
and then you have to make them take the last shot because Kawhi's on KD.
Right, and I agree. And then the thing is, I'm still taking the Suns. I think it's the best option for the Clippers. Yeah. Because you're trying to keep a close game by shutting Book down for most of it and letting KD score. And then at the end, you're like, well, we're not going to let KD beat us in the end. We're going to make Book make the shot. Yeah. I'm still taking Book making that shot, which is why I've got 7-6. But I think that's the best the Clippers can get. Yeah, I think that is definitely the best they can get. And with PG out, I don't really see that. I see this being closer to a Grizzlies-Lakers 6 than it is a Warriors-Kings 6. I think that they're going to make it competitive, but at the end of the day, the Suns in a pretty convincing fashion are going to beat them. So, move on to the next round? Yes, and I think we have the same people coming out. Nuggets, Warriors? No, it would be Nuggets, Suns. Why? Because don't they play? Oh, wait. 1-4 plays. Wait, this 1-4? Well, it should actually be Nuggets, Lakers, shouldn't it? Lakers. I thought that Warriors. So the Kings and the Grizzlies. The Kings and the Grizzlies are second and third seed. Okay. And the second and third seeds always play each other in the bracket. Oh, yeah. This happened last time we were talking about a bracket too. Yeah. But it's fine. You can just adjust as we go. Okay, so it's Nuggets, Suns. It's Nuggets, Suns. Okay, I'm taking the Suns. I am taking the Suns as well. Do you have a guess on how many games? I'm gonna say 6. But I'm gonna say 6 as well. I did 6 as well. I think that the Suns are just a matchup nightmare for
for the Nuggets, really. Like, I think we talked about this in previous episodes. They're a mid-range team, which is the weirdest. Like, watching the Suns games feels like in another dimension. Like, it feels like if you're watching 90s basketball again, except all of them complain about fouls still. It's like, it's literally like, I just saw, I didn't even realize, I think it was Terrence Ross, I think is on that team now. And I just saw some random guy that I didn't even know who it was, like, pull up for a midi, just like, with like 20 seconds on the clock. And I was like, what is happening right now? But like, that is a nightmare for Jokic because he'll try to drop and stuff like that. And if he doesn't try to drop, they're going to blow past him because they still have plenty of slashers. D-Book can get to the rim. KD can get to the rim. Chris Paul can still get to the rim.
Honestly,
like it's like
I think it's just really rough to be playing KD without your center being a rim protector.
Yeah, without your center being a rim protector and without a real like stopper. Like Aaron Gordon is a good help defender and they're a good one-on defender for like an average player. Like if you have Kelly Oubre, they might have an off night or something.
But I don't want him on KD.
I don't want him on KD, exactly. And then they're gonna get the switches onto Michael Porter. Look at all the switches that they can get. Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic. I mean, that's just a nightmare right there for them. This is one of those series where I wouldn't be surprised if it went 5 and they just gentlemen sweep them and it doesn't even look close. I'm gonna give it to 6 because I trust Jokic to be able to pull out a couple games, but like it really is going to be the Jokic show trying to torch up DeAndre Ayton, and he said domination is one of his hardest matchups. So you never know. Maybe he'll have an off night. But yeah, this is just a really bad matchup for them. We kind of already saw this coming with them being the 4 seed. I'm just glad they don't have to play the Lakers in the first round because that would have been really sad taking the Nuggets out of the first round after which probably gets like first or second in MVP voting, you know.
Okay,
then it's Warriors Lakers.
Right. So I know what I did wrong. I mean, it worked for the other side, but it didn't work for this one. Because in the East, I have all the top 4. I did the NFL playoff rules, which is the highest seed always plays the lowest remaining seed.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know anything about
yeah, they don't have like a set bracket. It's just like if you're the highest seed remaining, you'll always play the lowest seed remaining.
Honestly, that would be a smarter way to do it, I feel like.
Yeah.
Also, but I get why people do bracket because people love like March Madness and shit like that too. But Warriors Lakers is so weird to see a 6-7. It looks like a goddamn like 2K simulation.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one to call.
This is a tough one to call, and that's why I got it 7 going to the Lakers.
I got it 7 as well for sure.
Yeah,
but I gotta think. Do I want Lakers or Warriors?
It's so dope to see it on the spot. Man.
Ooh, that's so tough.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could see AD eating them alive, or I could see AD being a complete non-factor.
I don't think he'll be a non-factor offensively, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Without AD's offense, I don't think.
Because Draymond is definitely one of not because he's big or anything like that, but he's just a pesky defender.
Right. That's
to see him switching everything for AD is going to be difficult for someone like that lacks some aggression.
That's the problem with the Warriors is if I was looking at Draymond 5 years ago, I'd be taking the Warriors.
No doubt.
But I don't know what Draymond. I don't know what Draymond I'm getting. Am I getting Draymond in the finals last year, where he fouls out in 3 minutes and he barely does anything, or am I getting?
See, that's why I think because even lacking AD's aggression, let's say that I looked at it as either both positive or both negative. Like I'm saying either like Draymond's not fully up there, but also AD's not being completely aggressive, or AD's being aggressive but Draymond's guarding him. And if I'm looking at it on those two perspectives, I'm going to take the Lakers overall because when it comes down to what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so when it comes down to like Lakers offense and stuff or Lakers defense, like AD's defense, having a center that's switchable like that for the Warriors is amazing, and basically having Kevon Looney that he's gonna have to be guarding, like that's not really like a task he has to worry that much about on defense. So he can just be all over the court flying around. And AD, that's the one thing AD has been consistent about. Even last year when he was being bad, like his defense has always been there. And it's really not much of a better center you could ask for. Is there? I don't think there is. Because even though Embiid is obviously a better center than them, I'm taking AD to guard or a better center than even though Joel is a better center than AD, I'm taking AD in this series because AD has such switchability for the Warriors, and that's just a great matchup for them.
I think I'm going to take the Warriors, but I agree with everything you just said. My only thing is, and this could be some huge bias in my head, I think if I'm putting the trust in Steve Kerr. I think if they're taking AD and they're saying, you know what, he's going to be on Looney anyway, then we can move him all around. We can have him do this. I think Steve Kerr can find a way to exploit that, and then if he can't exploit it, at least find some way to make sure AD has to stay near Looney. Yeah, and hurt the switchability.
What I think they would do if Steve Kerr was to do that, I think they would just play small and put Draymond at the 5 a lot in this series, because we've seen Steve Kerr is more than willing to not play somebody if it doesn't work for the series. So having Draymond be the 5 and then just having Poole or DiVincenzo in it.
I do think it's a good matchup for the Lakers, but I think I'm gonna take Steve Kerr over the Lakers.
This is crazy because a couple weeks ago you were talking about how the Warriors.
I'm assuming Wiggins is back now. I think it's gonna be back.
True. But I do think it's going to be a completely very close series, extremely close. I think that this is going to feel finals-esque, even though it's in the second round, and then I think that the next series is going to be even better, regardless.
You got Lakers Suns,
and I have.
But the crazy thing about the West, just to go off for a moment, is all of these teams that we're talking about, the Warriors, the Suns, and the Lakers. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even be surprised if they lose in the first round. Yeah, if every single one of them loses in the first round, I'd be like, okay, they weren't who we thought they were, but we haven't seen enough from any of them to know for sure where they're going to be.
The only series I would be surprised about is the Nuggets Wolves. That's literally the only series I would be surprised about in the or Nuggets OKC. It doesn't really matter who comes out of the play-in. And as long as they don't get the Lakers, I would be amazed if the Nuggets lose in the first round. But besides that, literally any team can get upset here. And since our brackets are so similar, we could both kind of get fucked on our west side. Yep. It's good that you picked the Warriors though, because that will probably be the dividing point for us, since we both have the Suns coming out of the top of the bracket. Yeah. But so you have Suns Lakers. I have
you have Suns Lakers.
I have Suns Lakers. You have Suns Warriors. I think that we're probably gonna have the same here.
The Suns
in 6.
I have Suns in 7.
Suns in 7.
But that's only I have the Suns in 7. But the reason I'm taking the Suns in 7 isn't necessarily because I think they'll go to 7. Because I could see it going either way. I think you think that it's gonna go 6 maybe either way, but you would take 7 so that you can kind of hedge. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that for me, I'm convinced that the Suns beat whoever comes out of that series. Because I think that they KD has something to prove in both of those series. Oh, I think KD had definitely something to prove against the Warriors. That's what I'm saying. Oh god, if KD loses against the Warriors,
it would be so bad for his legacy. Yeah. He goes to another team. He just had to leave the team that he went to try to make it work by himself. Right. Then he goes to another team that has him the top 15 player basically right now. Yeah. So it's already people are still kind of skeptical if it's even really is this real? Are you not playing on a super team? No, it's not a super team. But so then he comes into the next series. It's Lakers or Warriors. So he either has the person that's kept him at number 2 his entire career, even though in the multiple eras he would be the best player, or you have the person that he went and joined up with and then left on bad terms with, not Steph Curry specifically, but left the team on bad terms with. He has a shit ton to prove for his legacy
and then also Steph specifically. I mean, the Warriors, even before he joined the Warriors and left, the Warriors were the reason that he never won a championship in OKC.
Exactly. Yeah, and then it's literally both too, because it's like LeBron's when they actually made it to the finals, the Heatles beat them, and then when they didn't make the finals, the Warriors beat them. Yeah. So it's this is literally KD's moment to be I am the best player. I am better than either one of these guys, and I am a better team than either one of these guys, and I can carry a team better than either of these guys can. And this is his chance to prove it, and I think that this is his best chance to prove it too, with both of them kind of being on the ropes right now.
The reason I can see it going either way, because I don't disagree with that at all, is, and I took the Suns. Yeah. I am betting on this. I am betting on Booker. Yeah. But I trust KD. Yeah. KD's showing up. Yeah. I don't know if Booker's showing up.
I think that, like, at least from what I've seen from Booker's been consistently, like, he'll have, like, one bad game of series and then be good for the rest of it.
Right, I'm just saying, like, I took the Suns. I'm taking Booker showing up.
Yeah.
But if KD plays poorly in that series, I would be shocked. Like, there was no way KD's playing poorly.
But
if Book plays poorly against, like, the Warriors defense he's going to be Wiggins, Clay, Draymond, like, one of these people is going to be on him. Well, it's going to be probably Clay. Yeah. And then Wiggins on KD, and then Draymond switching around.
Yeah. Or I think that with the Warriors, they're going to throw bodies at him. Like, I don't think he's going to see one defender the whole game because KD's just such a methodical scorer that if you put someone on him for too long, he's going to pick them apart. So you're gonna see Wiggins probably the largest amount, but you'll see Draymond on there, you'll see Clay on there,
right?
And anyone but Curry, basically, or Looney or whatever.
But what I'm saying is,
DiVincenzo even is a good defender for spurts with KD.
But what I'm saying is, like, that's a tough defense to play against. I could see Book having a bad series, and if Book has a bad series, I could see the Warriors taking it. If he plays well,
Warriors, I do think are a much better matchup for the Suns because they have a lot of defenders, and that's really what you're going to need to throw out those two elite scorers. While the Lakers have a better defense, but their defense is anchored by AD, where even though he's switchable, like AD's like a rim protector, like you don't like primarily want him running around on the perimeter, you know? Mm-hmm. So I do think that the Warriors, even though they're a worse defense, they have a better defensive matchup for the Suns. So I definitely see that making more sense that they go 7. But either way, I think that KD will pull it out. Yeah. I want the Lakers to come out and beat them because
I want the Warriors.
And you want the Warriors, exactly. So it's kind of a win-win for me, or for you a lose-lose, like you were talking about yesterday. Glass half full or half empty. I think that I can't really lose here either. I win money or I win my LeBron getting to the finals again. So I'll be happy either way. But now we got to go all the way back to the
Western Conference Finals MVP, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. Yeah, if you're picking the Suns, I feel like you have to pick KD. It would be crazy. I think that it could be. No, I was gonna say that it could be Booker, but I think it could only be Booker in my series. I don't think it could be Booker in your series when there's that many good defenders to throw at Book, who has shown that he has more trouble with defenders than obviously the 7-foot guy that can shoot. Yeah. But if he plays the Lakers, I could see D-Book tearing up their guard lineup, which would make sense for him getting it. But I'm still gonna take KD because he's KD.
Yep.
All the way to the East to play in.
You're gonna start 7-8.
7-8, yes. Heat Hawks, Heat. They're gonna smack the shit out of it.
Jimmy in a playoff game.
I will be amazed.
Trae Young's a good playoff player.
Yeah, Trae Young's a good playoff player.
He's not Jimmy, but
he's not Jimmy, and also I just can't imagine. Like, I feel like Jimmy would would not even want to play the next playing game if he lost to the Hawks in the season that they're having. So I'm definitely taking the Heat in the 7-8. Then we have 9-10 Bulls Raps.
I think this is going to be a controversial take, or I don't know if you're going to agree with it. I've got the Bulls.
I got the Bulls, too.
Like, Pat Bev is that guy. It's his city.
It's his city. It's his city by Zach LaVine, by DeMar DeRozan. But actually, though, like, the defense with Pat Bev and Alex Caruso is amazing. The DeMar DeRozan has been a playoff player recently. Obviously, he had his struggles at the beginning of his career. The Frozen. But he has been a playoff player recently. Yeah. Zach LaVine's still Zach LaVine. Even if he has an off game, you still have to guard him, and he's an amazing shooter. I just think, and Vucevic has been underrated this season basically just because his contract, and obviously people were wanting him to be an all-star when he got there and he just wasn't. But he's they just have more scoring options. They have too many weapons for the Raptors to be able to guard, because even though they have a bunch of defenders to throw at them, but if each defender it's basically 1-to-1 and you're taking offense over defense basically. So it's you have Siakam, you have OG, you have Gary Trent, you have all these guys to throw at them, but if there's so many offensive players also, what are you going to do?
And the other thing for I'll say, who do you have coming out of the Hawks Bulls?
Hawks Bulls, I have Bulls.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm saying for both these games, the Bulls just have, even though it's not likely, they just have a bunch of guys who could go for 20.
Exactly, and you only need
Kobe
two.
White could get 20.
You literally only
Io
need
could
two.
get 15. Like, you never.
Patrick Williams could get 15.
Pat Williams could get 15. Like, there's just so many guys that could throw in a good or really good scoring game as a role player.
Yeah,
that
you either need 2 20s or 3 double digits, and you're basically beating any of those teams.
You're assuming DeMar's getting 20.
Yeah.
You're assuming Zach LaVine's getting 20. And then you've got Kobe White could get 20. He might not. Vooch could get 20.
But even like when you're talking about like they have a good defensive guard core, so that's going to help with Trae Young when you're playing the Hawks and Van Vliet, who's already having an off season.
Right.
So if you're basically relying on those series, all you're relying on is like 2 or 3 guys to break double digits off
exactly.
And I don't think that is unreasonable to ask at all. And even if they don't, your defense might be enough to just clean it up anyway.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like just for the Raptors and the Hawks.
Yeah.
It's like for the Raptors, I mean, Siakam needs to be playing really well.
Yeah.
Van Vliet needs to be not throwing.
Yeah, facts.
Trae Young needs to be having a great game. DeJounte Murray needs to be having a great game.
Yeah.
But with the Bulls, DeMar DeRozan could play okay. Zach LaVine could play okay.
Yeah.
And then a couple other people break double digits, and they've got Caruso and Pat Bev locking them down.
Literally, that's really all that they need. Like, the Bulls are the type of team that you would usually see at like a 7 seed or a 6 seed before the play-in was even a thing, and then you would just see them have like a 5 or 6 game against a team that was in the top. It's just that it's so top heavy right now that they're gonna get blown out. But usually the Bulls right now would just be a quality play. Like 5 years ago, this would just be a quality playoff team, and people would be like, oh, maybe they can take a game off of the Bulls or something like that. Oh, well, I'm talking about the Bulls with Derrick Rose, obviously, not with the...
Now to move on, I will say, the only sweep I have in the entirety of the playoffs is Bucks and 4 over the Bulls.
Yeah, I think that if they get there, that is terrible for them, because you have a guard court guarding, but it doesn't matter because Drew Holiday can have an off game and it does not matter for the Bucks in the slightest. Drew Holiday has had a multitude of off games during the regular season, but he's an amazing defender, so none of your guards aren't going to score either, and then you have Chris Middleton, who both of those defenders are a little bit small to be guarding Chris. And then you have Giannis, who's going to be going into the paint with Vucevic.
Or Patrick Williams. I don't want Patrick Williams anywhere near Giannis.
Yeah, no. So that's the only only sweep I have in the whole playoffs, actually.
Yeah, only sweep I have in the whole playoffs,
Yeah, exactly. I think that this is one of the most competitive playoffs, but I do have the Bulls getting swept out. Then we want to go to Celtics Heat.
I have 6.
I have 5.
I can see it.
I don't think it's
going to be a close 6.
Yeah, no, definitely. Right. I think that I could definitely see the Heat winning 2 at home, but I think when it comes down to it, the Celtics just have too many scoring options. Yeah. I think I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if it went the other way, where it's just also a sweep, because it's just even though Jimmy could go off for 40, I think that they could still really possibly lose that game just because they have nobody else. Literally, if you're firing on all cylinders, literally everyone in the Heat is having a good game, there's still a good chance that they lose.
I would agree. Yeah. But I think it's going to be more... The reason I'm saying 6 but not a close 6 is I think if Jimmy shows up, he has one of those games, and then they get way ahead, it wouldn't surprise me if the Celtics just let off the gas a little, because they're we're behind, we have to play hard to get back in, we're going back home.
That's why I have it in one game. That's why I think the Heat will win one at home, but honestly, and even the more that I think about it, I just don't realistically see them taking more than one game, because it's just if literally Bam already gets less aggressive in the playoffs when it comes to scoring.
I didn't consider Bam getting less aggressive.
So the main people that they have is Tyler Hero and Jimmy when it comes to offense. Yeah. So let's say they combine for 60. They combine for 60. Where's the rest of your scoring come from? Kyle Lowry's getting 10. Bam's getting 10. You're at 80 there. VO has a good game in 10 points. But you're
that's a good point. I'll stick with the 6. I'll stick with 6. I wrote it down, but I think I agree.
Yeah. So Sixers Nets, which I obviously
5.
I have the Nets in 5.
Yeah, the Nets in 5. Yeah, I got the Sixers in 5.
But no, I got the Sixers in 5. I just think the Sixers are the I think that the Through the Wire said this or whatever, but they were like they are the seller of one game. Like the Sixers love
they're a
losing one
sloppy
game.
team.
They're a
sloppy team. They love, there's gonna be one game where nobody shows up. Embiid's gonna have like 12.
Yeah, exactly.
Harden's gonna have 75 turnovers.
He's gonna be sitting
and break 2 legs.
Yeah, exactly.
And Maxi's gonna go, these guys aren't playing anyway, what am I gonna do? And he'll drop like 27 on mediocre efficiency.
Exactly.
And then we'll lose by like 30. It won't even be close.
It won't even be close. McCollum just has dropped 40.
Right,
Yeah.
and nobody plays defense.
Yeah.
But then after that game, they're gonna go, okay, guys.
Yeah, we need to lock it.
We gotta lock it.
It's literally the same. I think it's gonna be the exact same thing that I saw. Like I saw the game in person, the playoff game where they lost to the Heat. I was there for the 1-6 game, which is so funny because I was rooting for, because I love D-Wade. I was on like the farewell tour and everything, and then he just starts spazzing on them in the playoffs, and I watched them lose at home. It was crazy. But yeah, they're just liable.
They just hate sweeping. They love selling a game.
They love selling a game. Maybe they want the rest. I don't know. They just want Embiid to be able to sit for an entire game. But yeah, so I definitely have the Nets taking 1, but it not even being close.
Yeah, right.
So then we have Sixers. No. We go to Bucks. Cavs. Oh no, we didn't do Cavs
Knicks.
Knicks yet. Yeah, we didn't do Cavs.
I got Cavs in 6.
I got Cavs in 6 too. The Knicks are just the type of team that's going to win some on their home court. You got Madison Square Garden.
And Jalen Brunson in the playoffs last year was going crazy. And I could see it going 5 if Donovan Mitchell turns into Donovan Mitchell, like he just he's on the entire series. I would be surprised if it was 5.
But
I'd be surprised if it was a sweep or 7. Though.
I would be surprised if it was sweep or 7. I think it's a 5 or 6 game series, and the Cavs convincingly win. With the Knicks eke out a couple on their home court. And I think that they're going to be like gritty games because even though both of them have been offensively very good, they're also very good defensively, and they have a lot of counters to each other. They have an Evan Mobley and a Jared Allen for Julius Randle. They have a Jalen Brunson guarding a Donovan Mitchell. Like they have a lot of things to shut off.
For the Knicks is the way they play first, and how that will not work well against the Cavs.
Definitely,
the Knicks take a lot of threes, but they don't shoot. They don't shoot them at a very high percentage. They just
even when they are like right now,
rebounds.
I don't trust that to transfer over to the playoffs.
We
saw that happen last year, 2 years ago, RJ Barrett was shooting 40%, then he dropped off, and then Julius Randle was shooting high.
Like their game plan is to miss and then get offensive rebounds.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
J.A. and Evan Mobley. I don't know about that.
Yeah, so I think that these are gonna be definitely gritty games that can be, even if they're not like sub 100 points, they feel like sub 100 point games where there's a lot of boards, a lot of misses, and a lot of just running around and diving on the floor for balls and stuff like that. But I do definitely think the Cavs convincingly win because they have by far the best player in my opinion in Donovan Mitchell, and he steps up in the playoffs as well. So. I'm just hoping that Evan Mobley has a kind of a breakout series this one. That's what I'm looking for too, because I'm not really worried about them losing it. I just want to see how convincingly the other players perform on the Cavs, because I'm really high on the Cavs, and I want to make sure that the other players that are there are actually good when it comes down to the wire.
Yeah.
Then it would be Bucks Cavs now.
I got Bucks in 6.
I got Bucks in 6 too. I just think that I think the Cavs have enough to build a wall, and I think that's really what it comes down to. Like, you need a team. He made jokes about it in his interview. You need a team. You need a team that can build a wall to play against Giannis, and there's not a lot of bigger walls than Jaren Jackson Jr. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. And I think Isaac Okoro's out right now, but he might be back for the playoffs, especially that late in that series. Yeah, he has a knee thing, I think, right now or something like that. But he's out, but I think he'll probably be back around that time. And even if he's not, those two alone are a big enough deterrent in the paint that I feel like Giannis is gonna have some inefficient nights. But when it comes down to it, I think star power is gonna reign out. We got Giannis, you got Jrue Holiday to put on Donovan Mitchell, which is basically the best matchup that you can have in the league for that. And then Chris Middleton, I think is with Isaac. If Isaac Core is out, that's what I think is going to bring them through on this series, and I could see even going 5 with if Isaac Core is out, because even though you can put. Like, Evan Mobley's not the type of person you want to put on a wing like that, like a Chris Middleton type. But even if you do put them on there, I think that Chris Middleton is going to be able to torch them up as, like, being a new player in the league, first time in the playoffs.
And also, if Mobley's on Middleton, then Jared Allen has to follow Giannis around.
Yeah.
And Brook Lopez is still on the floor. Who's on him then?
No. I think that the Bucks have a good matchup for them, and the Cavs have one of the better matchups for them too. They're just young. And I think it's gonna be a year or two. I think once Drew Holiday starts to peter off a little bit, I expect it probably in the next 2 or 3 years, they'll have a better chance to be able to get past a team like this. But right now, I just think that they're a little wet behind the ears, I guess is the term. Yeah. But Sixers, this is finally.
Of course, I got the Sixers in 7.
Sixers in 7. I have the Celtics in 5.
In 5.
In 5. I think that this one. I think that
I can see it.
I think by this point in the playoffs, James Harden is going to be having a lot of injury issues. So then we're looking at. I think we're just looking at last year's where we're having Embiid dropping 45, and then the Celtics having an even better supporting cast.
Embiid dropping 52 on 80% field goal percentage, and 90% true shooting,
and getting one of the best.
Jaylen Brown was out, and Robert Williams was out, and we win by 2 points.
Exactly. Yeah. No. I think that you're gonna have to. Yeah, you're gonna have to hope for injuries for the Celtics, and when it comes to the series, because even if James Harden is back, I think it's a struggle for you guys, and I don't think he's going to be playing at 100%.
Against the Celtics.
Yeah, and also even if I think that you guys could be firing on all cylinders, and I think the Celtics win in 7. So if if any of them, if Embiid has calf issues again, if James Harden is dealing with his Achilles, if anyone is even slightly off. We have Malcolm. Well, I could just go through a 12-man lineup of guards to just bring out there and just tire out all the guards that are on the floor for you. You're gonna have Shake Milton trying to guard Malcolm Brogdon in the second.
Yeah, but I gotta take the Sixers in 7.
You gotta take the Sixers in 7. You gotta give me that Andrew Johnson, Jackson. Damn it!
I will do that, but I am gonna change I'm gonna change it to the Bucks winning the East then.
Okay, understandable. Oh, you are gonna do it? Okay, we gotta shake on it then. Okay, $20 on the line here. You just saw it on live television. I'm so excited because I'm going to need it because Embiid's probably winning MVP, and we have 2-1 odds because I took Jokic and Giannis. They took Embiid. They have 2-1 odds on it, so I will get 5 if I win. They get 10 if they win. And then we have OKC getting into the playoffs and not just the play-in, and that's $5 either way. So if I feel like I have a good chance to get to lose $5 there, I think Embiid's probably gonna win, and then OKC won't make the playoffs. So then I can recoup a little bit of that.
And I already got that 5 for the Raptors game.
True. So I'm winning 10 on the season. But then you said that you have Bucks Sixers. And then you just said that you took the Bucks now coming out of that?
Yeah, if we're going 20. Because if we were
we have a fake Sixers fan.
When I thought we were going 10, I'd go Sixers. Well, here's the interesting thing. I actually would give the Sixers. If the Sixers are playing well enough that they beat the Celtics, I'd give them a good chance of beating the Bucks. Not better. Yeah. I think the Bucks still win that series most of the time.
Yeah.
But if the Sixers are playing good enough to beat the Celtics, then they have a better matchup against the Bucks.
Yeah, I think that they definitely do.
But I still would take the Bucks.
Just the depth, I think, is a big thing for the Sixers because their starting lineup can go head to head with basically anybody in the league. It's just when it comes down to depth, Bucks aren't as deep. The Bucks have a really good bench, but they're more like a defending, gritty type of bench, while the Celtics have scores off their bench, people that Malcolm Brogdon can come in and actually drop 15 or 20
right.
So I think that the Sixers do have a better chance against them, but I just still have the Bucks.
Yeah.
I would have the Bucks beating them anyways. And then when I'm talking about my series where I have the Celtics coming out, I think that's a 7-game series in my opinion. I have the Bucks coming out in 7.
Since I have the Sixers, I have the Bucks in 6.
Yeah, the Sixers. Okay, that makes sense. I think the Bucks. Well, let's talk Celtics first. I think because it's the realistic one, obviously.
Yeah.
None of that true.
I agree, but
the Bucks.
Gotta trust them.
the Bucks beating the Celtics, I think it's just gonna come down to star power. It's just gonna be Giannis just dropping 50s every game, basically what he did against the Nets. He did against who did he play after he played the Nets in the second round? Do you remember?
After the Hawks.
It was they made that fluke ass conference. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because Ben Simmons didn't dunk over Trae Young.
Don't try to blame it all on them, okay? Joel had a bad game one series.
Yeah,
and Tobias Harris had a bad series.
No, but that was the game losing move in Game 7.
True. But when it comes down to it, I think that I'm taking Giannis. I'm taking Drew on Jaylen Brown. Yeah. I'm taking Giannis or Chris Middleton on Tatum. I think they have a good matchup spread, and they also, when you're looking at the center play, I'm taking the threes that Brook can provide along with the defense, as opposed to Rob Williams. Is more going to be a roller, which is not really going to be as optimal in the series. I think when you're thinking about Brook and Giannis down in the paint.
So I'm assuming that your Eastern Conference Finals MVP is going to be Giannis.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say I agree.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking the Bucks to win.
Yeah.
If the Sixers win, I'll bet it's Harden or Maxey. Because my guess is going to be Embiid's going to do what you expect him to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And for them to win, it's going to be like Maxey averages like 32 in the series, or Harden averages like 30 and 12.
Exactly.
And then it's going to be like, even though Embiid was the best player on the team, this person so outperformed their expectations, they'll end up with the conference finals.
And if they were to win the conference if they were to get into the finals and win the finals, then they would give him the finals MVP, obviously.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree with you. I think that everyone's gonna be like, this is what we expect Embiid to do. This is what he's been doing all season. Right. And they needed one of the guards to take that next step for the playoffs, and that's the only way that you guys even remotely challenge them in that series. So I think that it would go to them. The only thing that's sussy with that is that Jrue Holiday is there. So it would have to be the opposite guard. It would have to be either James Harden's not doing that good, so Maxey steps up, or Maxey's not doing that good, so Harden steps up. But I just think that basically I think Jrue Holiday, but just in the hypothetical that they're playing against each other, I think that it's really nightmarish for you guys now that I actually think about it, because you basically have to be carried by two players there, because Tobias Harris is only gonna have one 20-point game in a series, so that might be one game that you can get kind of a freebie, but everything else you're gonna have to have consistently one guard stepping up really well, and then Embiid dropping his 40 points. Yeah. And I just don't. I trust Embiid to do that every series. I don't trust Maxey or Harden to be able to do that for a 7-game series.
Right. Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm taking the Bucks. But I'm just saying, if they were to win, then that's how it has to happen.
True.
Or Embiid's gonna average 60, in which case, that's not gonna happen ever. But if that did happen, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Look at this. This room is filling up quick with that Sixers copium, and he's got the Bucks coming out of it still.
I got the Bucks. So, we go to the finals?
Yeah, Bucks, Suns.
I'm taking the Suns.
That's crazy. I was not expecting that at all. I was going to be I guess we're probably having the same thing.
I think if the Suns...
It's a good thing for your betting thing as well, though, because you knew I was going to take the Bucks. Right. And so if somehow the Suns beat them, then you're going to get the finals MVP.
Well, that's actually a good point if you think about that, but... If I took the Bucks, there's pretty much no way I could win the bracket.
Yeah, that is true. That's true, because you'd just be hedging it with me.
Yeah.
But I really, I just have the Bucks. I think that we've seen the KD and the Giannis matchup with the Nets and the Bucks, and we saw that they're both gonna dog and they're both gonna defend well. So I mean, it's when then you go down the supporting cast. Jrue Holiday on Devin Booker, amazing matchup right there. You saw it during the regular season. Jrue Holiday gives Devin Booker fits, so I think that Devin Booker's probably going to have an off series. And then when we go down to supporting cast, the third best on the Suns is either Ayton or Chris Paul, depending on the night. And for the Bucks, it's Chris Middleton.
It's Chris Paul, because if it's Ayton, you're looking rough.
You're looking really rough, because then you have Brook Lopez guarding them. At least with Chris Paul, Jrue Holiday's going to have to be focused on Devin Booker, so it's going to be you can have like Javon Carter or somebody on Chris Paul, and he looks back to form. But I think Chris Paul's legs are going to be dead if they make it to the finals. So I'm saying I'm definitely taking the Bucks. I had them going 7, and it's literally just KD because we saw like even Giannis guarding KD. Like there's not a lot you can do to.
So that's what I'm taking the Suns in 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think now obviously this is a better Bucks team than that year, but I think the difference in quality. I think this Suns team is much better than that Nets team, or is better than that Nets team more than this Bucks team is better than that Bucks team.
Yeah.
And in that series, they still only lost. Because KD's foot was on the line, and they ended up going to overtime. I think KD got it that close with a worse team, even though the Bucks were worse. I think he's got a better team around him now. He's got Booker to take some off him, even if Drew Holiday is holding Booker to... Because holding Booker is like making him look like a top 40 player instead of a top 15 player.
I would disagree with that, though, what you were saying before, because I agree with what you just said, but I would disagree with the previous thing where you're saying it's a better team overall, because you're looking at the injuries for that one. You had a 40% Harden, and you had
Harden was out by the end of that series.
Yeah, he was 40% Harden, and then or it was like he started it and then didn't end it, or he didn't start it and then he ended it. Regardless, you had you'd have 30 to 40% Harden overall in the season. I said, and then KD obviously 100%. Then you had Giannis 100%, and then you had Drew Holiday, who had kind of an off series as well, and then you had no Chris Middleton. So in this series, you're looking at matchup wise. Devin Booker and Drew Holiday, I don't give a fuck about any of the offensive shit that Drew Holiday does, and I don't think that Coach Bud or Giannis or anybody else on that team does. I think that they just want them to make sure that Devin Booker does not score, which I think that Drew Holiday has shown that he has a history of being able to do with Devin Booker. Then you have Giannis and KD. I think that they cancel each other out. I'm just gonna they're the best players in the league. Yeah. Even if you have KD kind of be edging out over Giannis, then you keep going down the line. You have Chris Middleton back now, and then who do you have for the Suns? You know what I'm saying? Chris Middleton, I feel is a bigger addition, even if Chris Middleton's 80%, which he's been looking pretty good since he's not since he's been back, but since he's been back for a little while. But even if for some reason it's aggravated him again, even 70-80% Chris Middleton is better than Chris Paul, who's not going to be 100%, or DeAndre Ayton at 100%. So it's I'm saying that I think that the team, obviously, the Suns are better than the Nets were at that time, but the Bucks are significantly better. I think, and matchup-wise for the Suns.
I think I'm taking the Suns in a really similar way to when I explained why I'm taking the Warriors over the Kings.
Yeah.
I think if it gets to a close, a close game, which I think a lot of them will be, I'm going to take KD over Giannis, which it's not far and away more.
But I think in the clutch though, I think it does. The gap does increase. If I'm taking over the course of a game, I'm saying that I'm taking Giannis, KD, and I'm taking it like this. Right. And then when it comes down to the clutch, it's probably more like this, KD over Giannis.
And I think that's why I'm taking the Suns.
But the reason that my 1 point to contest that would just be basically what I said before, where it's if you I'm taking, even if, let's say it comes down to the clutch moment, which I think it probably will, you have KD over Giannis, and I agree that he's going to be carrying more, but then you have D-Book with Drew Holiday guarding them, and I'm taking D-Book down here, and then you have Chris Middleton clutch factor versus Chris Paul being injured and old, or DeAndre Ayton being DeAndre Ayton. I'm definitely taking Chris Middleton up here.
I'm still betting on KD.
Understandable. I mean, it's not a crazy. It's like when people are in the have done with LeBron for years and stuff. It's LeBron can do it, but I feel we've kind of seen in the playoffs and stuff like that. There's only so much one player can do, especially when they're playing against other MVP candidates, Yep. So I think that it's definitely going to be close. I think that there's definitely a chance that KD can pull it out, but I think at the end of the day, KD's going to be a fraud again. He's not going to win another finals. Not without the Warriors, brother. He needs him to win. He needs Curry, brother. And he's going to call up that phone. He's going to be I'll take a minimum, guys. I'll take a minimum. We'll be back on the team.
I assume your finals MVP is going to be Giannis.
Yes.
And mine's going to be KD.
All right, I'm so excited for that bet, bro. I think I'm coming out here finessing. I'm looking at wins overall. I'm looking at like I think I'm gonna get probably like 35 or so, and I think you're probably gonna get like 20. I think I'm
We have a really similar bracket.
That's what I was like. The West, we're gonna get basically the equal. Okay, I guess I underestimated how many games are played in the playoffs. I'm gonna get like 55, and you're gonna get like 35.
It's gonna be so funny when the Kings and the Nuggets and the Clippers all win.
And the Grizzlies blow out the Lakers.
And it's over, and then it's over, and then we're just totally wrong.
Nah, I'll still be fine because the Bucks are gonna carry me.
How much time we got? Should we talk about a topic, or are we chilling?
We're an hour. I do want to talk about the Rudy Gobert thing regardless.
He's
a bitch, bro. I literally hate him by far. Like
COVID super spreader.
Rudy was already one of my least favorite players in the league, but this situation has made him by far not even in the same stratosphere as any other player in the league. We had he's just had a terrible track record in the league. I'm gonna try to just remember as many things over the seasons. This is all like a 3-season span of time. If you haven't been watching the NBA, we had Rudy Gobert goes to the I should want to say it just in case. Rudy Gobert goes to is super spreading during COVID.
Yeah.
he's making jokes about COVID. Then from there, he complains about not making the All-Star team. Then from there, he is arguing with Donovan Mitchell again. Then from there, he gets moved to another team and he's ass. And then he gets, I forgot to say that he got exposed by literally every single team that he's played in the playoffs. and then he goes from there, and then he goes to the Wolves, and then they're having locker room issues as well. Then he throws a punch on the bench in the last regular season game against the most how do you even get to punches with slow-mo? How do you get there?
Slow-mo said, shut the fuck. I can't believe. Okay, this is something I'll never understand. How can you get so upset about being called a bitch?
It's so insane to me. Have you not been playing basketball your entire life? Everyone does that shit. The fact that
it wasn't even a creative insult or something. It was just the B word.
It wasn't anything personal either.
Right.
He was arguing about a play. That's what they said. From everything that's come out, they were arguing about a play, and he's like, "You're playing like a bitch" or something like that. Shut up. And then he throws a punch at him while they're on the bench. He doesn't take it to the locker room and get into it with him there. He throws it while they're sitting on the sidelines, and now he puts the Timberwolves in the worst situation possible. Where it's either you say, oh well, we need as many players as we can to play against the Nuggets, so we're going to bring him back. And what I think they really should do, the play-in as well. They do need him for the play-in. That's the weirdest part because I don't even think you want him for the Nuggets series. I think he's getting eaten alive by Jokic. So it's do you sit him for the play-in and then make your chances probably slightly less, and then just have him still be out for the Nuggets series so you don't have an excuse not to play him? Because honestly, you need an excuse not to play him. Because Jamal Murray, in his bum-ass state right now, is going to torch him alive. So it's do you sit him and say that, or do you play him and then just let this guy that literally no one likes? I guarantee that locker room hates him now because you're punching the guy that's the glue of their team, and what do you even do? And
you're putting it in such a loser way.
Yeah,
he was
we didn't even talk about that. Yeah, he
7
ran
foot
away
with a giga wingspan. You go.
And wait, literally, it runs away. You have every spec. If it's a fighting match and no one knows who you guys are, you're heavy favorite coming out of the fucking shit, and there's no fucking shot. He runs away and he tries to keep his hands up like he's actually fighting. He shuffled away like he was doing a little jig or something like that, bro. It's bro, I cannot stand that man.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about Rudy Gobert. He's the biggest bum on and off the court in the entire league. And if we could have a big break to if you sat me down and you were do you want to interview Rudy Gobert right now? I don't even know if I would say yes.
I'd say yes.
I don't know if I would say. I don't know.
You
if I
would say yes.
No, because I hate him.
No, you would
literally
say yes.
Despise him. You can do it by yourself because I despise that man, bro. He's literally oh my god, I can't even get into it.
Anyway,
what were you gonna say?
This is the rest of the story.
Yeah.
And after the incident on the bench, Kyle Anderson in the locker room at halftime said, "I'll knock your ass out."
Oh, I forgot that you told me that.
Then Kyle Anderson walking to the locker room, I don't know if this was before or at the end of the game, said, "Y'all kiss his ass way too much telling me to focus. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all got a decision to make this summer."
Like, and what decision? Like, there is no decision. I'm thinking slow-mo over...
Yeah, but the Timberwolves can't, because they traded their entire future for Rudy. They're just going to have to trade...
They're going to try to buy out a $50 million contract with 3 years left.
They're going to have to trade... Unless they somehow convince Kyle Anderson to get over it, they're going to have to trade Kyle Anderson.
And ironically, this is the best thing that you do. You go... Mavs? Hi, Mavs. Re-sign Christian Wood for $35 million, and we'll trade and take him for his 4-year $35 million, and we'll give you Rudy Gobert, and we'll also give you like literally every second round pick that we have left because we traded them all for Rudy Gobert. We'll give you every single one. Okay, please just take him off our hand, Luka. You know that Kyrie's not coming back. Don't cap. You know Kyrie's not coming back. You need something, brother. We'll give you Rudy Gobert for free. We're paying you to take Rudy Gobert, please. And then you're hanging up that phone. You're not letting them respond.
And then you hope to God the Mavs take that, which
exactly. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. But
you hope to God the Mavs take that, and then the Mavs do, and you're still fucked as the Timberwolves because now you've got Christian Wood for 4 years on a giga contract, and
exactly.
If you're the Mavs, you're absolutely fucked because after 1 year, Luka is gone.
Yeah. Rudy Gobert doesn't roll like for the 15th time in one game, and he's like, I'm done with this. I'm done with it. Yeah, no, Jesus Christ, bro. It is like he is like the most like cringe-worthy like player I've ever seen, bro. There's not a single redeeming quality. Like when it comes on the court, obviously there's some redeeming qualities, but off the court, no redeeming qualities, and on the court, it's all of his redeeming qualities are completely shunned out by his unredeeming qualities when it comes down to real games. Like it's like. That is a mess of a situation, a mess of a player, and a mess of an organization. Because I'm praying that Ant just gets fed up with this shit and like dips the fuck out. Like every other
Timberwolves
player.
Yeah,
exactly. Because imagine Ant Edwards is like, oh fuck this shit, I'm gonna play with Luka instead. like that would be fucking goated. And then we would have to deal with all of this weird ass bullshit where the Timberwolves somehow regenerate 4 first-round picks so they can go trade it on Christian Wood.
Ant's coming to the Sixers. See, he did the jersey swap. So true. He's going
to the Sixers. Luka's in the locker room. They're both going to the Sixers.
Luka and they're coming to the Sixers. We're trading Harden for Dame.
Exactly. You're making me all.
And then we're signing Jimmy too.
You're gonna have the whole first All NBA team. This is my next rebuild, by the way. Check out my 2K video.
Since the Warriors can't afford Draymond, we're picking him up.
Yeah,
too,
they can't afford him. And honestly, I think.
And apparently, we can.
Yeah,
so we'll trade him to Tobias Harris.
Exactly. That's another thing. Like, oh my god, bro. That is just it's a fucking mess. I hope to God that he honestly does get traded to just a team that like nobody cares about, so I just never have to think about that man ever again.
Really?
I hope that like next year it won't happen because his money's too big, but let's he just goes to the Rockets or some shit and he just rots on the bench because it's just
the Rockets are probably gonna be good though in a couple of years.
I don't know about that. I think that maybe if they make a coaching change. No, their coach was good. Their coach is good.
No, they're changing their coach this offseason.
Oh, they are? Okay, yeah. But but I think that I don't trust the Rockets. I don't know anything about the Rockets front office since there are more left, and I don't want to take a bet on any of their. I don't want to take a bet on a front office that I don't know that well. So it's because 99% of them make trades like the Timberwolves do, where they just trade 7-round picks.
They've got a pretty good. Well, actually, I don't even think they do. The Rockets are not bottom 4 anymore, are they?
No, because they're fucking stupid as shit.
They won the last 3 games.
Bro, that shit is insane.
So maybe they are in a little bit of
imagine they actually fall to the 3rd pick. How embarrassing it is to be that bad for that long, have almost a 20-game losing streak, win the last 3 games, and now instead of having Vic, you have some guy that averages 15 points a game. It's
okay, the top 3 picks are all going to be really good.
Yeah, but there's still a good chance that one of them doesn't pan out the same way that you did. So even if they get 20 points, Vic is Vic. It's not even close. So getting anything under that because of some dumbass shit.
Yeah, 100%.
It's insane.
But the thing for the Rockets is they really would like to get they really would like to get Vic.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's going to be so... Because the next people are Scoot, who's a guard.
Yeah.
They already have guards.
And I think honestly,
Ahmed Ozar, one of the Thompson twins, is going to be third, probably, or Brandon Miller.
I don't know enough about I just know the
But
first
regardless,
two
they
that
all
are going to be locked
okay.
in. The third one I feel like is still a little bit up in the air.
I think they'd probably take Brandon Miller.
Yeah, I think that in my opinion though, like
Who's a wing.
I think that if they get Vic, that they trade away, they're gonna get crazy trade value for that one big that's on their team right now too.
Sengun?
Yeah, Sengun.
I think they'd keep him.
You think as backup?
I think they play probably keep Sengun at the 5 and play Vic at the 4.
Really?
That's what people a lot of draft analysts have been saying. Vic would be best at the 4.
He's gonna be like a Kristoff type beat.
Kristaps, you mean?
Yeah, Kristoff.
I think it's that people have said it's because like he's really tall, but for his height he's really light, so he get pushed around by
NBA bigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I really just want him to grow into his body and like play the 5 because I feel like having a 5 like that in the league would be really good for the league to have like it's basically like Carl Anthony Towns on crack, but like and actually plays defense obviously. So I think that I would prefer him to play a 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do like the Jaren Jackson shit that they're doing right now. Because Jaren Jackson's been playing which is also another thing for my draft thing. Jaren Jackson has been playing the 5 recently, I've seen.
Yeah, because
and he's out, but he's been doing it good as well. Like he hasn't just been like, they need him to play the 5.
What a lot of people are thinking is if he goes to a team with an already competent center, it's going to make more sense because with his length, he can still function as a shot blocker, even standing not in the paint.
Yeah, definitely. He can play Jaren Jackson type thing.
And he can stretch the floor because he can shoot.
Yeah.
So you can put him on the perimeter or in the dunker spot.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of centers, like if they're not in the dunker spot, then
what do they do?
Right, well they're not doing anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just a lot of fuck shit going on with the mid teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
Like, the Rocket shit, the Timberwolves shit, it's just like I don't understand how like consistently this happens in sports where like teams just make terrible decisions like that. Like if I'm up in a game and we've just won 2 games in a row and I'm the Rockets, I'm pulling everyone out and I'm playing G League or 2-way players. Like I understand like it's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult.
I just don't even understand. I don't understand why you're winning. Why you're even winning those 2 games?
Yeah, exactly. You want the lowest odds possible, and it's not like it's
you
even
tanked all season.
Yeah, it's not even like it's like a Mavs thing where it's like let's give them hope for the next season or whatever. Like it's like you're going to be bad again next season probably too unless you get Vic. And even if you do get Vic, it's probably going to be like one of those things where like you're challenging for the play-in or whatever.
Like 8 seed is
why the fuck? Yeah, like why the fuck are you? why would you ever? But yeah, it's not even worth getting into. But we go through the Rudy Gobert thing once the Rockets went through brackets. I think that is everything for this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. We'll respond to all comments below. If you have any suggestions for next video, we are going to do the awards, but that probably won't take the whole amount of time, so we can definitely take suggestions for that. Any questions, please let us know. Anything else?
I think I'm good.
All right, peace out, y'all.